I want to say that I am not in the business, and I'm very careful to. I'm not trying to tell people that other things outside, strictly speaking, the Sirat al-Mustaqim, have little value, or I'm not going to quantify the value. I'm not.
Right.
What I am after is that we have to pay careful attention, is that the so-called ibadat are not ibadat.
Right.
The so-called ibadat are not ibadat. Allah says, and when Allah says something to us, I think it's not a joke. It's a serious thing. I mean,
It's a fact.
It's something deep. I mean, this is the creator, the sustainer of the universe, of the galaxies, is telling us something.
Yeah, it's like a fact. It's a fact.
It's a fact. Exactly.
Why the Muslims are, so ignorant of their own religion? I mean, do you think because of the traditions from the history, and they're just watching people in the past what they were doing, and they just don't come to the Quran, they don't understand, they don't read and understand the Quran the way it's supposed to be, and they just following their ancestors, whatever they're doing, the traditions going on and on and on. So what is the factor? I don't know. You tell me.
I think this might sound a bit strong, but I think there's a conspiracy against the Quran. There's a conspiracy against the divine revelation. This conspiracy was hatched from way back, not many years after the Prophet Muhammad died. There's a conspiracy to divert the attention of Muslims, to hijack Muslims, to hijack them, to divert their attention from the only source, the only hidayah, the only document that Allah sent. We sent it as hidayah. Divert attention to something else, and you may call it sunnah, you may call it hadith, you may call it whatever, but there's a concerted effort, because when we bring very crystal clear concepts that are articulated in the Mus'haf, unfortunately some brothers and sisters, they say no, it needs explanation. But Allah says bayyanahu, we have exposed it, we have detailed it. You see, if you were to ask an average Muslim, why do you believe in Islam? Okay, why do you believe in the Mus'haf? I mean, it's a logical question. Why, right? And the answer is difficult. I don't think that many people will give you a sufficient answer. If I were to believe in the prophethood, in the message that Muhammad delivered, that the Prophet Muhammad delivered, I need to see substantive proof, validation. I need to see it. If a Christian believe, for instance, that Isa, the Prophet Isa, raised people from the dead, they believe in it, but they haven't seen it. Okay, so the message to the Christian message, the message of Isa alayhi salam, was local in time and space. If the message of Islam is eternal and not local in time space, then I need to see validation in this book. Now, we turn the religion into a tradition, and this is the biggest thing. We're comforted by this tradition. Religion is not a source of comfort. Where does Allah say it's a source of comfort? It's a source of hidayah. On the contrary, sometimes religion pushes you to to be in an active state of consciousness.
Yeah, on the same note, I'm going to ask you this, because I feel like most of the people, even you show them the contradiction, all those hadiths, we tell them, well, there's a contradiction, but they feel comfortable. They say, okay, no problem. Look for the one which is, better. So I don't understand their.
I want to say, brother, I want to say is that what I started saying is that if the religion, if Islam is supposed to be till eternity, till the end of time, I don't say it's not correct to say till eternity, till the end of time, then it cannot be exemplified by a man with his followers, the way they eat, the way they sit, the way they act, the way they do commerce, the way they do wars. For the average Muslim, it's easier to see an example. So the center of Islam has switched from the Mus'haf to the Prophet and his life. You see, the center of Islam, and this is very identical to what the Christians did. The center was shifted to Jesus. We shifted the center, Muslims shifted the center to Muhammad and his companions and the way they lived and the way they acted. If Umar ibn al-Khattab if Umar al-Khattab drafted a treaty, or he had a treaty with certain non-Muslims, then it became a model for us to follow. If Umar ibn al-Khattab did some commercial transaction, then it became a standard. It became a relation for us. You see, if a certain if the prophet did something, whatever that thing is, we wanted to know exactly how we did it, and we structured it as a religion. So we really diverted the center of Islam exactly the way the Christians did. They diverted the center of the religion to Jesus. We diverted the center of religion to Muhammad. And when we say this, they say, you have to love Muhammad. It has nothing to do with the love of Muhammad or not love of Muhammad. The religion of Islam is not based on the love of Muhammad. The religion of Islam is based on following the commandments of Allah. It's very simple. We didn't want to rise to the challenge that Allah is challenging us in the Mus'haf. When Allah uses different words, look, brother, very simple. When Allah uses the different words, who am I to come and say, oh, Allah, you mean these words are the same? Look at the arrogance. Allah uses different words, okay? Why should I assume these words to mean the same? You see, that's why I believe there was a conspiracy against the Quran. There was an effort to derail the Muslims, change their orientation from the Mus'haf, who is a book that stresses freedom. Look at the freedom. Obey Allah or disobey. You have the freedom to do that. So they flipped, they turned the concept of ibadah, which in my opinion, if I were to simplify it, and you ask me what does ibadah means, I would say freedom. You see, it's connected to freedom. They flipped it to mean bondship, to mean ubudiyya, to mean slavery. Look, ibadah, they flipped it to imply slavery, and so there was an effort somehow. I talked about it in my book in some detail to change the theme of the religion into control and constraint, to constrain people and to control them. So that's why the concept of ibadah was flipped to imply what we refer to today as worship. Worship has nothing to do with what we've been told. Worship is ibadah is ultimate freedom. Can you imagine brother, people have fought and killed themselves. Millions of people have died to uphold freedom. And Allah forgot this concept in the Mus'haf? Doesn't make any sense.
It doesn't make any sense.
Doesn't make sense. Where is it? Where is it in the Mus'haf? Where is the concept of freedom? Allah didn't care about freedom. That's the purpose of the creation. Look, وَمَا خَلَقْتُ الْجِنَّ وَالْإِنسَ إِلَّا لِيَعْبُدُونَ. So that they follow their manhaj, the manhaj that they choose. But I want them to follow this manhaj. أعبدوني هذا صراط مستقيم. So, what better religion than this, where it tells you you have the ultimate freedom? And when Allah says we have honored humanity, what more? You know, how would I honor someone? I give him that freedom. That's the ultimate honor. I give that person freedom. What else? What else? Where's the expression of honor? I want Muslims to be courageous and confident, and use and deal with this divine revelation as it was revealed right now for each one of us. We have to deal with it directly, and let's not be intimidated by the clergy who have jumped between us and Allah. Let's not be intimidated by anyone. There should be no one between me and Allah. If Allah sent this book for all of us, then absolutely I'm one of those us. I may not understand everything in the Mus'haf, but I need to put the effort to understand whatever I can understand. We have to liberate ourselves. We have to liberate ourselves from all these misconceptions, these disastrous misconceptions that have turned us into nations amongst the very bottom in all developmental metrics that you can think of. All developmental metrics, we are at the bottom of nations. The question is why? Why? And my opinion is that we have created a different religion. We're not following the religion that Allah sent to us from its source, and the only source, which is the Mus'haf, which is the divine revelation, which is also people refer to it as the Quran.
Quran.